Hi everyone. In today's DIY projects, we are crafting with Dollar Tree items. I'll be sharing my top 10 best DIYs that you could use to decorate your home. For your shopping convenience, all the items used in today's DIY projects will be linked in the description box below, so do check them out and let's jump right into our first DIY project. For our first project, we're going to be using this tapered candle holder from the Dollar Tree, and we're also using a dome. I'm just removing that label, and we're going to be making a table lamp for this project. I'll use my Rust-Oleum reflective gold spray paint, and I'll spray paint my candle holder. I place my candle holder on the base of my dome, making sure that it's leveled. Then I use my marker to mark the area. I'm going to be using these ice gems, and I'll leave a link for all the items that I'm using in the description box below. I'm using my hot glue to place my gems going right around that area that I mark. And I'm just making sure that I leave enough space to place my candle holder when I'm done. I'm just checking to make sure that it's okay, and then I'll continue adding my gems. I'm also using the lid that came with the dome. And for this lamp, we're going to be using two of them. Okay, so we're using two domes, and I'll do the same thing to both of them. I'm placing the lid back on the dome so I can see where to stop adding my gems. And you just need a small amount of hot glue for this, and just push all the gems together. And I'll continue going all the way around. For my strong adhesive, I'm using Aleene's Mixed Media Adhesive. I'm placing my adhesive on the candle holder. Then I'll place it right in that area that I marked. Just place it on the counter, make sure that it's straight. So I made two of the domes. Now I'll join both of them together. Just use a small amount of your Aleene's mixed media and connect both of them together. Or you can use any glue that you prefer. Just use a small amount so you won't have too much on the outside. If you have too much glue, just remove it with your X-Acto knife, as I'm doing here. Now to go around this area, I'm going to be using my gold contact paper, and I'm just going to cut out 4 squares. And this is the piece that I cut. I'll use my hot glue to connect it, just a small amount, and I'm not removing the backing from the contact paper. And that way I won't see too much of the bumps showing through. Now these are the lights that I'll be using. They come 3 to a pack. I'm just going to be using 2 for this project. It's RGB lights and they're rechargeable, and they come with remotes. Now this is the base of the light. We're going to place the base right on the lid, on the inside of the lid. And the lights come with double-sided tape. But I'm going to be using my double-sided tape for this one. And I'm placing a small piece on the lid. Then I'll place the base of my light. When it's time to recharge your light, just twist it, and it uses a micro SD charging wire, and those come also with the package. This is how it looks. I should have painted that part before I added the contact paper, so I'm just going to take it outside and spray paint it with my metallic gold spray paint, and then I'll replace the paper. I'm going to ask you to please give me a thumbs up on the video if you haven't done so already. And also, please leave me a comment. Just one word is good enough. It really helps to support my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. All right, let's move on to the next project. I'm going to be using a wooden ring, two of them, and I'm also using bamboo hoops. And you can use whatever size bamboo hoops you would like. Dollar Tree sells bamboo hoops, but I'm using this large one, and I got this one from Amazon. I'm going to cut my wooden rings in 3/8 pieces. So I'm finding the half, then I find the quarter, then I find the half of the quarter, and then I cut 3 sections. I got some messages from a few of you guys. I'm wondering where I was. I was missing for a little bit. I had some tragedy in the family, but I'm back now and I'll be posting every week. All right, so make sure you turn on your notifications so you'll be notified every week when I post a new video. I'm using a sanding paper to clean up the edges. For this design, I'm going to be using bamboo skewers and we're making a wall decoration. And here's my inspiration for this project. Just look at how I'm placing the hoop and also the ring. For the sizes of the bamboo skewers, you just have to measure it as you go along. So we're going to add the two first ones to hold our shape together. One end of the skewer will be glued to the ring, and then we'll set the other end on top of the hoop. Now we're going to another half. This project took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, just because I have to cut each skewer as I go along. They're not all the same sizes. If you should ask me if I'll do it again, I would say no. This is one project that I think you should buy it instead of making it yourself for the time that it took. I think I'm going to link the original to the video, but I think it's fairly inexpensive. Now, after I added all my skewers together, then I'm using my wood glue, my Gorilla wood glue, and I'm using a little water to water it down, to get it a little bit thin, and then I'll just brush it all over the piece. And this will hold the pieces strong together, and it will also add a nice shine. I made 3 pieces and now they're all nice and dry. I'm going to use my strong adhesive to attach the 3 pieces together. They have a larger design to this one. It's right here. That's the one I really wanted to make. But after making these 3, I was like, no, I've had enough. So I stopped right here. So as you can see, it was kind of awkward placing that third one. So now I have all my pieces attached. I spray painted it with my white Rust-Oleum gloss spray paint and I placed it in my bathroom. And here's how it turned out, guys. This project is a wall mirror. We're going to be using this pizza pan from the Dollar Tree. And I'm using an old canvas. It's square. And I'm just making sure that it's even on all the sides. And I'm going to place my pizza pan in the center and mark the area. I'm also using these glass gems from the Dollar Tree. And I'll be using about 5 packs. I'm using my hot glue to attach the glass gems right around that area that I marked. Make sure to use a strong adhesive for this project. After I was finished with that area, then I started on the ends and I'm overlapping the end a little bit so my gems will be showing on the end instead of the canvas. Now I'll go ahead and fill the gap on the inside, and if you want it to look more uniform, just keep going around that first circle to have it in a nice even pattern. Now it's completed. I took it outside and I spray painted it with my white gloss by Rust-Oleum. And then I'm also taking my pizza pan and I'm going to be spray painting it on the edges with my metallic gold. And here they are, nice and dry. Now I'm going to be attaching a 12-inch mirror to the center of my pizza pan. And I also added a piece of cardboard to the back of my mirror just to elevate it. I'm attaching my pizza pan with my strong adhesive. I placed weights on top just to weigh it down for a few minutes. And then I'm adding my mirror. Place the weights on top, allow it to dry overnight, and then clean your mirror. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. Now let's move on to our next project. We're going to be making an up-down wall sconce. To make our wall sconce, I'm going to be using these wooden pieces from the Dollar Tree. And I'm using the 2 shapes that they have. I'm using 2 of the rectangular pieces and 2 square pieces. I use the square piece to measure the piece that I need to cut from the rectangular piece, and I use my X-Acto knife to cut both pieces, and I'm gluing the shorter pieces on the outside. I'm using my hot glue, but I'll be using my wood glue when I'm done to make it stronger. Now I'll use my Gorilla Wood Glue to paint the entire piece, and this will also make it stronger. I'm going to be using 2 chopping mats from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting about a half an inch off where it has that curve on the edge. Then I'll use my wood to measure the part that I need to cut. I'm using my X-Acto knife just to score it. I'm making the shape to fit inside of the frame. I'll cut that piece off. So I'll just check to make sure that it will fit inside. Perfect, so I'll make 2 of those. I'm also using this wooden plank from the Dollar Tree, and I'll place the base of my sconce on top, and I'll use my wood glue to attach both of them together. I'm going to be using 2 clips to clamp them. I'm using alcohol to clean off my chopping mat. Then I'll decorate the wall sconce with gold strips. I'll start the first piece on the edge. Each side I'll be placing 3 strips, and each piece will be 3/4 of an inch away from the first one. Just try to get them nice and straight. I'll do that for the opposite side. Now to hook our sconce on the wall, I'm going to be attaching this picture frame hook to the back. I'm just using my hot glue to hold it in place, and then I'll use my screw for a more permanent hold. Placing a piece of tower block underneath just to have it leveled on the wall. Now for this area, I was using a contact paper, but I didn't like how it looked, so I'm going to be painting it instead. Just use any paint that you have and paint the wood, and I'm painting the back also. Now I'll place my 2 pieces of chopping mats together. And the second piece is just to hold the first piece in place to create that rectangular shape. Use a small amount of hot glue underneath where the tape is so it will be hidden. And you can use it in the center also because the wood will be covering that. Now for my frame, I'm going to take it outside and spray paint it with my metallic gold spray paint. And then I'll place my design inside of my frame. I'm going to be using these RGB lights. They come with double-sided tape. They're rechargeable. When it's time to recharge them, just take them off the base and recharge them. Place one at the top, one at the base. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. We're going to be making this mirrored wall decor. And I'm using a 6-inch mirror from the Dollar Tree. And I'm using 3 bamboo hoops. The Dollar Tree sells hoops, but they are 7 inches wide. I'm going to be using 12 inches, and I got these from Amazon. All the items I use in today's projects will be linked in the description box below. You can find the description below the video if you click more. I'll be spray painting the frame of the mirror, so I'm covering the mirror with paper. I'm placing my bamboo hoops around my mirror so I can see where I want them to fall. And then I'll just use my pencil to mark that area. Then I'll go ahead and use my hot glue to place them. But you want to go ahead and use a strong adhesive, or the wood glue is perfect for this project. But I'm using the hot glue, which makes it a little bit weaker because I have to rush through the projects. Once you mark your areas, just go ahead and use your wood glue to make it stronger. So just mark the areas and place your wood glue, allow them to dry for at least half an hour, and then you can proceed to the next step. So I'm taking my Gorilla Wood glue and I'm just going over the seams. Then I'm using some extra glue with a small amount of water to make it a little bit runny. And I'm using this as a primer to prime the hoops before I spray paint them. And if you notice, I place an extra hoop under that one on that side, and on the opposite side I place two extra hoops just to keep them aligned while they're drying. Now the wood glue is dry, so I'm spray painting it with my Rust-Oleum Reflective Gold spray paint, and I just gave that one coat. Using my alcohol to clean off the overspray, and then I'm using my glass cleaner to clean my mirror. To hook our wall decor on the wall, just hook it from the mirror. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. Let's move on to our next project. I'm using Hot Wheels tracks. I'm going to be making 3 teardrop wall decor. You can make as many as you'd like. I'm using zip ties to tie them in that hole that's already there. I pull them a little bit too tight so they're not as straight. So if you're going to make this project, don't pull the zip ties too tight. I'm cutting the excess off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and use my small mirrors. I think these are the 5-inch mirrors from the Dollar Tree. I'm just using printer paper to cover the mirror area because I'll be spray painting the frames. If you like at least one of my projects, I'm gonna ask you to please give me a thumbs up. It helps to support my channel, and another way that you can support my channel is by leaving me a comment. It doesn't have to be an entire sentence, just one word is good enough. You can also support my channel by sharing this video with one person in your phone. Just one contact is good enough. All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm using my hot glue to attach my paper to my mirror so they can stay in place while I spray paint them. Now for my spray paint, I'm using my Rust-Oleum black matte spray paint. And I'm spray painting them with light coats, allowing them to dry for a couple minutes in between coats. And I'm adding about 3 coats for each one. For my mirrors, I'm using my gold reflective spray paint. And here they are, nice and dry. For the frame of my teardrop, I'm going to be using my gold trim, and I'm just going down the center of the track. I'm pulling it nice and tight just to avoid any kinks. And then I'll stick it to itself on the top. And I'm also using about 1.5 inches of my black leather trim. I'm using my strong adhesive on the ends, and I'll place them right in that groove. And I'm also using my hot glue to help to hold them in place until my strong adhesive dries. Now for my mirror, I'm just going to remove that paper, clean any overspill with my alcohol, and then clean my mirror with my glass cleaner. The only thing that's left to do is place the mirror on the inside, and the track will hold the mirror in place. Just pull it down a little bit from the back with your finger, so it can sit nice and neat inside. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. We're using nautical rope and I'm using 4 packs of those. And for this project, we're making a wall decoration. The rope is cotton, so I'm going to be staining the ropes and I'm using just this tempera paint that I have. I'm mixing about 1 tablespoon with 1 cup of warm water and I'm going to submerge the rope in there and just squeeze the excess water out. And this will change the color. And you can use whatever color you have. Mine turned out to be gray, and some parts have more gray than others, depending on how much water I squeeze from the rope. It came out looking nice, different tones of gray. I'm just squeezing the excess water and I left it overnight to dry. I'm also using a 20 by 20 canvas and a 9-inch mirror from the Dollar Tree. I place the mirror in the center, just try to get it centered. I use my marker to outline that mirror and then I'll take my rope and go right around the mark. I'm just using my hot glue to place the rope and I'm twisting and pulling while I'm going so it can look nice and neat. So just make sure your mirror fit before you continue to go right around. And mine fit very snug. And I'll just continue going right around with my rope. And we're almost at the end. I was left with about 1/2 inch of the canvas on each side. So now I'll just cut that little piece off the end with my scissors. Use my hot glue to seal it. And close it right there. And I'll just use my scissors to take off that inside piece so it can lay flat. I decided to change the color of my canvas. It was previously white, but white is not going well with this gray tone. So I'm just covering up my rope so I can spray paint my canvas. And I'm going to be using my matte black spray paint to spray paint the canvas. Now it fits the mirror and it matches well with the different tones of gray. So I'm just going to attach my mirror in the center and I'm not using any glue. Just in case I want to change it, the color down the line. It fits very snug inside. And to add a little bit of life to this wall decoration, I'm using my gold foil. And to attach my gold foil, I'm going to be using my tacky glue. I'm just using the paper to push my gold foil in place. And I'm just going to continue on the other end, and this will be the side. And I was just trying to cover up mostly where I have the joints. And I'm using this Nexus hairspray. You can use any hairspray to hold it down. Now I'll join both ends together so it can look like one gold strip running right through. And I'm just making it overlap the mirror frame just a little bit. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. We're going to be using the small plastic spoons from the Dollar Tree, and this is the 24 packs. I'm working on a silicone surface, so I'm just placing my hot glue on the surface, and I'm going to be making flower shapes. So for this set, I'm going to be using 5 spoons, and I'm just joining them and overlapping them on the ends so they can look like a flower. Let me show you how to do a second one, and then we'll move on. Just use your hot glue gun on the low temperature, and this will hold them better while you're working. And I made 33 sets of those. Now we're going to be doing the same thing with the larger spoons. These come in 48 pieces. So we're going to be joining 6 pieces for this flower. And then I'm using my hot glue to seal them on the center. I made 11 of those. I'm also using a wire wreath from the Dollar Tree, and I'm placing my flowers going right around the 2 center pieces of the wire. And I used up all 11 pieces. And we're going to flip our wall decor on the back, and we'll just reinforce them. At this point, you can use a strong adhesive if you'd like, but I find that the hot glue hold them really well. I then took it outside and I spray painted it with my Rust-Oleum metallic copper. I'm also using a 9-inch mirror from the Dollar Tree. The frame is 9 inches, and I'll be spray painting it with my white gloss. Now my wreath is dry. We're going to call this a wreath for now. That's what it looks like before I add the mirror. I'm adding my silver spoons on top of the larger ones, and I'm adding the silver spoons on every other spoon. I wanted to see how it would look just like this, but it looks mostly like Christmas decor. So if you'd love to make this for Christmas coming up, then you could go ahead and do so. But I'm going to take it outside and I'll just spray paint the entire thing black with my matte black spray paint. I'm also going to be using these small wooden beads, and I'm just gluing them on a piece of paper so I can spray paint them, and I'm using my white gloss spray paint by Rust-Oleum. And I'm spray painting 33 pieces of those. Now my wall decor is dry. I'm just going to use my little wooden beads and I'll place one on the center of each of my flowers. I'm just using my tweezer to hold the beads and I'll use my hot glue to attach them to the center. If you like what you're seeing so far, please help to support my channel by giving me a thumbs up. I'll really appreciate that. Another way that you can support my channel is by leaving me a comment. It doesn't have to be an entire sentence, just one word is good enough. And also, please help me to share this video. Just share it with one contact in your phone. All right, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Now I'll flip my wall decor over and I place the mirror back inside of my frame. So now I'll go ahead and use my hot glue on the low temperature to attach my mirror to the inside of the wreath. And the space is going to be a little bit larger. It's not connected, but the hot glue will connect it together. After the hot glue, you can go ahead and use some stronger adhesive if you'd like. But it's a lightweight wall decor and we'll just hang it on the wall from the back here. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. For this project, we're also making a wall decoration and we're using the handles of the spoons, just the silver spoons. I'm just using my pliers to clip off the tips if they're not straight. Then I'm just going to use 5 spoons to line them up in a staggered pattern with one on the center, then 2 on the sides, and then 2 more on the sides. Just make sure that the ones on the sides are touching at the tips. And for this, we're using our strong adhesive. Just place the strong adhesive on all the joints. We're also using a mirror from the Dollar Tree. I'm removing the mirror and I'll be spray painting it white. I'm also using one of these plastic plates and I'll be spray painting it silver. Now I'll go ahead and add my mirror on top of the plate. I'm going to be using a strong adhesive. I'm placing my strong adhesive right on the edge of my mirror. And then I'll place it on the plate. Just make sure that it's even going all the way around. Allow it to get tacky. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add my spoon handles going right around that mirror. And the only part that's going to be holding these handles are the plastic plates. So I'm going to go right around with the spoon handles. Make sure that they fit nicely before I use my strong adhesive to attach them. Just try to even the spaces on the plate and the tip of the spoons should almost be touching. Now we're on to the last one. We're going to have a small gap, but just go around and even them out and then you should left with just a tiny space in between the middle. Now I'll go ahead and add my strong adhesive on the underside. And I'm placing a good amount of my adhesive because this will be the only contact. And I'm placing a good amount in each of the grooves under the tips. Allow them to dry for about 8 hours before you do anything else, and then you can flip it. After you flip it, add some more strong adhesive to the joint of the plate and the spoons, and also where they're touching. I did it, but I forgot to add that part in the video. And then I'm going to be using a picture frame hook on the back, and I use my strong adhesive and my hot glue to attach the picture frame hook. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. For this project, we're going to be using plastic straws. I think I used 4 packs of my straws. For this project, we're making a wall decoration, and here's my inspiration. I'm going to go ahead and just clip off that extra piece at the top where they fold. Now I have all my pieces ready. I'm working on a silicone surface, so I'm just using my hot glue to attach the pieces together, and I'm just staggering all the pieces. And I'm adding different amounts to all my sets. And some of my straws, I cut them in half. I'm just using my scissors to clip off the excess hot glue on the sides. Now I'm looking for the ones with the same amount in them because we're going to want to line them up for some of them. Now I'm making my base. I'm using the larger ones to make the base. And I'm just lining them up. Just pay attention to how I'm doing them, okay? I'm doing them in this pattern just to add some height to my wall decoration. But I'll be covering up all those spaces in the center. Just try to get them straight so it will look like one long piece going all the way across. Now to hook our wall decor on the wall, I flipped it over and I'm going to be using this picture frame hook. Make sure to use a strong adhesive. I'm using my Rust-Oleum matte black spray paint and I'm spray painting the back and the sides and also the front. So everywhere is getting black paint. And here's how this project turned out, guys. I hope you like this one. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Let me know which of these projects were your favorite and if you'll be recreating any of them. If you missed my previous video, here it is on the screen. Just click that rectangular box to watch. Thank you so much for your support. Take care and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye bye.